Hello, everybody. Coming today with the One Piece discussion, and I want to talk about Don Chinjou and his and what is obviously going to be his conversation with Lucy in Block C, and how do you think that match is going to go? When I want to start, I want to go back a few chapters to when they first got to Dressrosa with their disguises, and who we now know is Fujitora. And I want everybody to remember the very first time that Luffy, took his measure. So he was standing, after he helped him out, he was like, "Whoa," he noted, and he's like, "Hey, you're very strong, old man." And I want to compare that to how when he met Don Chinjou, and even after being attacked by Don Chinjou, you notice that Luffy didn't. It wasn't the exact same thing. You know, he didn't specifically take time to note. It's like, wow, you're a really strong, old man. Now he did note how tough he was after he did punch him to get him to, to stop attacking him, and so basically like knock it off, And with that, I think you see right there the difference in powers between Fujitora the Admiral and Don Chinjou now with and obviously he's not as strong as he was in his prime, because in his prime when he was younger he split an ice continent, or a continent made out of ice. The continent was made entirely out of ice in half with his head, but now I can't say that he would have been able to do the exact same thing with one made out of solid ground, because ice is easier to break apart once that process has already started. So, but still, that's very impressive nonetheless. An entire continent made out of ice. There's like if let's give a reference to here in the real world. Let's say Africa, the entire continent of Africa. And if he had butted Africa, and if Africa was made entirely out of ice, and he just split that in half, whether the vertical or horizontal, that's some pretty powerful stuff right there. To split an entire continent in half. And I think that's going to be the main focal point of that battle. Obviously, he has his two grandchildren there, and there's also another person there from that country that they represent. If I remember right, it's the country of Kano or Kano, however you pronounce it. So obviously, Lucy to everybody else but Luffy. To those, it's really only a few people who know his true identity now, with Cavendish, Don Chinjou, and his grandsons now, and Bartolomeo learned that from Bellamy in his conversation with Bellamy. But that's going to be very interesting, because obviously all four of them, they're pretty strong, and they are the favorites for that block. So how do you see Luffy being able to handle all of them without going all out and revealing all of his powers? I think that I think we're into go into a little further more about this whole entire arc. To me, so far, I think the point of this arc is to not only reveal more knowledge and reveal some answers about certain characters and histories, and it's going to tie in everything later on. But this is the arc for the Straw Hat crew to fully showcase their abilities now. There's going to be battles to be had with with a lot of people on Dressrosa, and they're not gonna be alone. They're gonna have allies, you know as everybody found out from the previous chapter with the news with the dwarves or the little people, as as it is in my translation. But what do you think about Don Chinjou? Obviously, because he used to get messed up by Garp, and which is why he is so mad at Luffy because he was never able to beat Garp. Garp was always beating his butt. He was always getting toe up from the flow up. Garp was always, putting it to him. So he sees his grandson, and obviously going by what he said in an earlier chapter is that if he knew that Dragon was his son, he would have went after him as well. So he's going to take out all of his frustration against Luffy. And now, what this does present a problem, but also it presents an opportunity to not only see the growth of Luffy, because he's going to try his very best to maintain his identity as Luffy. Okay, he made a promise to Frank, and he's going to do his best to keep that up for as long as possible until it is no longer possible to keep to keep his identity hidden from everybody else. So in this battle, what I look for, everybody should expect for his haki to be shown on full display. Not only his observation haki, which is going to allow him to basically, allow him to, number one, expend less energy, with useless movements, and he can dodge and avoid things, and all kind of attacks and whatnot. His armament haki is obviously is going to be very key to not only increasing his attacks, because he already has a very strong base attack due to he's very strong, but also his devil fruit ability is intertwined with his body. So he's naturally stronger than a regular person would be anyway. Because if you remember that he is made out of rubber, he's made entirely out of rubber now. So he's naturally stronger and able to do things to a higher degree as opposed to if he was just flesh and bones. And as perfectly noted, go back to when he fought Blackbeard and Impel Down, when Blackbeard took his devil fruit ability away and he hit him and it hurt. And he bled, as opposed to when he has his abilities, things like that, you know, they don't affect him to that degree, or not at all. It has to be a very strong attack for it to hurt him, and while he is made out of rubber. And it allowed him to, it allows him to train much harder and to do things to a much greater degree. So I think what everybody should look for here is the use of haki, as well as improved fighting techniques and tactics, which, we did see him use on Punk Hazard with Rayleigh teaching him, and telling him that no. Doing that is sloppy. That's a sloppy way to do it. Use everything that you have to the fullest extent, and don't and basically minimizing wasted movements and wasted attacks. If you get attacked, redirect it back at them. Just don't send it flying off, and reuse it and send it back with twice or however much times the force right back at them. And so what I'm thinking everybody's going to see here is basically you're going to see Luffy display, like I say, his haki, his observation, and his armament. I don't think he's going to use his Conquering King haki, because that would be a pretty obvious thing. It's like, oh, who is this person that can use this haki? That would draw unintentional, unwanted attention his way. So, but you never know. We're definitely going to have to wait and find out. So obviously I haven't got the chapter what everybody just got the other day. So, but I just thought that this was a key. It's going to be a key battle, and it's going to be very interesting. and it's going to be a starting point for everybody to get to see not only Luffy and his improved tactics, his improved skills on the battlefield, but how he uses and displays his haki. I don't believe he's going to use too many of his like stretch. I don't believe you're going to see him stretch like rubber too far, other than making it look normal. He can definitely go gear second if need be and increase his speed, and nobody he can really do that without anybody knowing, that without giving himself away. So he can do that in such a way that it's just like normal movement, but increase his speed and his attack power exponentially by however much it does increase. So look for the haki to be displayed with this block, and it's going to be an important foundation for the matches to go ahead forward. Yes, he's going to. We all know that he's going to win this block, but I think the process of him doing so is what's going to intrigue everybody. And going forward, to the next block, I'm not sure. I think the format is going to be the winners of each block versus the family, the family people, and then maybe it's like going to go on like a tournament system. I don't believe there'll be or it will no, cause think about it, cause you got the Quixote family is in the tournament as well, so that makes the most natural sense that the family versus the winners of the blocks. So that's how it's gonna go, and whoever wins that will proceed on, and so on and so forth until you have the final two, or the final one to fight the champion of the Coliseum, which is Diamante. So, and I'm not sure if Luffy's identity is going to be revealed in this fight. I believe he can definitely do so without revealing it. I think it'll be revealed in a later one, maybe in the next one, or if he's able to go do it until he gets to Diamante, I can definitely see it. I believe it's going to be revealed in some kind of grand way. But either way, we know that with Don Chinjou, with his strength when in his prime, obviously he's going to be a very tough opponent. So this is going to be a very, very, a very good battle to pay attention to not only learn Luffy and kind of get a feel for how he's going to fight in the future, and also just imagine once he's going all out and using his full powers. Like I said, I believe that he does. Obviously, he has another move or two which he hasn't shown, which will be shown during this arc. It's another power that, or another combination of power or something. But obviously, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he can use Red Hawk yet because, well, actually, yeah, he may be because all he has to do is go gear second and use his armament haki. And what I believe is that he's increasing that pressure point specifically to that area, like his arm, and he just, it just, yeah. So you might see a Red Hawk here, or something along those lines. But what are your thoughts as to how he's going to proceed in this battle, and do you believe that you're going to get a good feel for his abilities going forward, for the rest of this tournament? And just, do you think that Luffy is going to live up to your expectations or surpass your expectations for how strong you think he is right now? I know what the King of Lightning thinks. That his haki isn't at a certain level yet, but we're gonna find out and see exactly how good his haki is. All right, that's all I had to say. Give your thoughts and opinions on this, and have a nice day. Bye.